Game time, Brian. Your name's name that I gun. You need a way to the fire. Tatey with hammer stills gunned in the living room. Just a mailbag full, delivering letters. Now I'm dropping that fuel from the 9 to 5 to the Cowboys grind. Turn my voice into a platform. Game time, Brian. Every snap, every play, break it all down. Blue and silver pride, yeah, I rep this town. From the news to the rumors, every hot debate. If it's Cowboys talk, man, I'm never late. They say America's team, yeah, the name holds weight. 5 rings deep, and we still chase it. No matter win or lose, I stay locked in. Every game day is game time again. Game time, Brian, put the star in the sky. Talking about the boys till the day I die. From the mail route grind to the YouTube fame. Now the whole world knows my name. Tune in, lock in, yeah, we going live. Cowboys Nation, yeah, we ride or die. Opinions fly, but the passion stays. Every day's game time. Press play. Dak takes the snap, Micah on the chase. Talking O-line, defense, who's making the plays? Trades, rumors, draft picks too. If it's Cowboys news, then you know I come through. No network scripts, just a fan with a voice. Doing this my way, yeah, that's my choice. Breaking it down for the real, no cap. If you're riding for the star, then you know where we at. They say America's team, yeah, the name holds weight. 5 rings deep and we still chase 8. No matter win or lose, I stay locked in. Every damn day, it's game time again. Yeah, top run, put the star in the sky. Talking about the boys till the day I die. From the mail rail grind to the YouTube fame. Now the whole world knows my name. Tune in, lock in, yeah, we going live. Cowboys Nation, yeah, we ride or die. Opinions fly, but the passion stays. Every day's game time. Press play.
What up?
Guys.
Hey, leg nights, early mornings. Yeah, built the
Well. Good morning, everybody. I'm grateful to be joined here with my partner, Primetime Phil. I call him a partner because he helps me out a crap ton. Loyal cowboy in the house. Looks like he's working out. There you go.
Yep.
My man. Yeah, I need to get back to the gym. I've been going, but not enough. But yeah, late notice. So thank you, Phil. I appreciate it, buddy. I think we both do our best work last minute. You know, I just feel like I feel guilty. You know, I didn't do anything yesterday, and I'm not been feeling great. I've been getting a lot of headaches, and if anybody lives in Jersey, Jimbo, you're right down the street, brother. It is actually the pollen is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's what it all is. Thank God I'm not out on the street right now. I've been able to dodge the being sick for a long term, but everything is just dark green outside. It's just disgusting. And you know how much I hate the color green, right, Phil? So good morning, everybody. Let's get to the chat. I'll let Phil and everybody, get their breath. Oscar Perini, good morning. Prime Time's in the house. Dustin Bosley. I promised, Dustin, I'll get your, I think it was you, right? Yeah, it was you. I'll get your wife's shirt out tomorrow. I did. That's on my list to do today. To make the cancer awareness shirt, I got to come up with something. I don't think I have a small, though, so she'll get a medium. It's all right. Just wash it a couple times. You'll be all right. Dwayne Sweetney, what's going on? Ultra Cowboy, my man's in the house. Happy Mother's Day. Yes, I wanted to start with that. Happy Mother's Day to everybody watching. I miss my mom. I don't know everybody's story, but I was a mama's boy. I'm sure you guys can tell. But yeah, I miss my mom. She's passed away 2008, so it's been a while. So I miss my mom. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. But happy Mother's Day to everybody whose mom is still alive. EJB, good morning, brother. How are you? Jimbo, yes, my allergies are killing me. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, dude. It's as bad as I can remember. Stephen White, how are you, my friend? How are you, Stephen? Oscar Perini, Brooklyn Zone. Everybody, all right, we are caught up. We got a little intimate crowd with 20 people in here. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Phil, how you doing, brother?
the loyal cowboy over there already working out and stuff. So I'm over here sipping my coffee, trying to wake up and shit.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
so I'm like, yeah, we're on two different levels right now.
I know Ultra. I'll hear from Ultra. I'm up early, but I'll hear from him. He'll text me at like 6 in the morning, which he knows I'm up. But sometimes, I'm at work usually by then already. So I know he's an early riser. But we got a lot to talk about. Not so much Dallas. Obviously, we'll talk Cowboys, but there's a lot going on around the league. Let's get right into the shocker yesterday, the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, again, we knew something was up.
We're retired.
We knew something was up with that, right? With Derek Carr retiring, because you didn't hear anything. He had some sort. I'm thinking rotator cuff as a person. I don't know, Phil, if you're quarterback, if you ever had to deal with rotator cuff issues. I got a slight tear basically in both rotators, so I can't throw like as good as I used to. I mean, I tried to throw a baseball the other day, and I was like, my Lord.
Anytime I try to,
I just can't. It's not worth it. I gotta
go ahead, Loyal.
Yeah, go ahead.
Looks like Dak is the last man standing because everybody in his class pretty much retired.
Yeah, but Ultra sent me them. I did see it, but he sent it to me. Now, Kellen.
Yeah, when
Moore.
you see the injury, I mean, he gets slammed into that shoulder. I mean, he does right into the ground. I mean, he decides to leap for that first down, and then just the way he comes down on it and stuff. Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be it. I know in general, if the boys want me to throw a football, I need some warm-up throws. I need about
definitely
50 of them.
That's what I need. Because I know my scar tissue was kind of, rotators it just scar tissue's over. It's just not as strong. I just got to be careful. I don't try and, you're right. It's all about warming up, but who the hell has time to warm up? We just want to get out there and just let her go. But, and I always had a great arm, but
the older you get, the more you got to warm up, though.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, I know.
That's when we make a mistake. We just get out there, want to go, and then we pay for it.
So Derek Carr gone. Now, I don't know that I would be as nice. I think that was a class act, but I think that was kind of dumb. He didn't want to deal with the rehab. $30 million.
Well, let's say how much does that good Samaritan or good football organization really do you good now? It's like, oh well, we out of respect, we didn't go and try to get that quarterback because we thought we were trying to make it out there.
Sanders, even if not in the first round, they should have. Okay. They should have taken him. I mean, we can say what we want, but
he's still available. Let's be real. He's still available.
Carr, he kind of put them in a bad situation, man. He kind of screwed them because, I mean, that's like with what Witten did to us back in the day. He waits until the draft to say, "Oh, I'm going to retire."
They got
us in a bad place.
They got Taysom Hill, man. They're good, man.
Yeah, he's all right.
Now I'm messing.
But they could have drafted a quarterback or something.
They're ready to roll.
They're ready. He'll be out there.
They're ready.
Quarterback and tight end in the same play. He'll be good.
Well, it couldn't happen to a better person. Ultra texted me. I said, yeah. I said, Kellen Moore is effed.
Yeah.
I said, Kellen Moore is effed. I thought that was a beautiful.
It just gives him an excuse. I think it gives him an excuse of something that was already going to be pretty miserable. Let's be real. He still needs to build pieces. I'm not going to throw him under the bus and say that it's going to be worthless, but he still needs a lot of pieces there, and this just gives him an excuse now.
Agreed. But I still think, man,
You're muted, Loyal.
They should have.
No, you're not.
Yeah, they should have drafted Shador. Now
something, right?
I mean, again,
they got
as much
that
as
Tyler.
I like Tyler Shuck.
He's gotten good reviews.
I don't know. He's a 26-year-old rookie. He has good arms, but I don't know.
He has a good arm, and now he has Kellen Moore's.
You know who Tyler Shuck
brain.
is to me? He's Drew Henson. That's what I think of when I see him.
Man,
and Dallas had hopes on Drew Henson, right?
Chad Pennington, and that stuff like that.
I think that's kind of where I see him. I could be wrong. I don't know, what the hell do I know? But I'm just saying, I actually like the quarterback that the Eagles drafted over him. I like the quarterback out of Syracuse that the Eagles, over Tyler Shuck. Man, we're getting I'm shocked. You guys are up and ready to roll this early. I'm digging it. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about something because it seems like, and Ultra, you can chime in on this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Dallas, we're hearing a narrative now that Dallas, was locked in. Since I'm bringing up Shedeur Sanders, Dallas was locked in and devastated when they lost Tet McMillan. I had Tet going, I don't know if I had him going to Carolina. I might have, but he was gone when I picked Golden. But it seemed like, once we lost him, they were trying to dive out. And I just want to discuss an alternative situation. If McMillan was there,
the what if
they would have traded out of 2, right? So you would have lost Easy. Easy would not have made it to 3. So that is the latest.
Oh, to trade up. You were talking about trading up. What?
Well, no, if McMillan fell to them at 12, they would have traded out of 2 or down to get a 4. So they would have traded to the bottom of the second.
Well, I mean, they didn't do that in general. They didn't do that in general throughout it. So it's like I doubt that they would have drafted back to pick up something. I think they would have still kept that second.
Yeah, or they traded the 3rd for a 4th. So basically what you're hearing is you would not have gotten Easy. You would have gotten Ravel in the 2nd. They would have traded down or out of the 3rd to get a 4 and maybe a 5, whatever, maybe a later 3rd. That's what we're hearing.
I'm interested in everybody's opinion on that one.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
It's funny how they say that they were all in for Tet McMillan. Well, they could have probably just gave up their 3rd if they were really all in and went up and got Tet McMillan. I think they very had a plan, because when he said before the pre-draft that he talked about 2 substantive trades, I think one of the ones were, as we all know now, is Pickens. So they knew that if they're not going to give up draft capital. If Tet McMillan fell to them, I think they would have picked them. But I think they were not in desperate move to go up and move up for Tet McMillan. So you brought up a great point was I'd rather have Pickens and Booker than Tet.
Yes.
And Hoffman.
And nothing. And nothing, basically. Yeah,
well,
you're right.
I mean, this is the one thing I'll say about Cowboys fans, and I get caught up into it, but you have to rely on certain people. You just can't, us being at home, unless, we have access to the All-22 and we are,
We're not all Mike Fisher.
Again, yeah. Well, just real quick, and I don't watch him every day, but I like Mike Fisher. I really do. But he was not happy that he was left out of the loop, when it came to the Pickens acquisition. But we could talk about that.
I think it makes him more. It makes him more like us. I think.
Yeah, and that's what he should be. To me, his channel would grow a lot better if he would stop being. I know this is the source of all the real information. Everybody else is
just be you. Just be you.
Exactly. What's up, Daz? How are you, brother?
So tell me these 3 other guys. We got 3 other guys on the bottom tier. Tell me about are you guys happy with the situation that you drafted in compared to what Brian right now is talking about? Randy.
Randy, what's up, brother? How are you, man? I know it's early and.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Oh, he's already on the list.
Got energy. He got energy.
Oh man, hey, I already been up since 6. I washed my car, went out, cleaned it. Hey man, I don't play around.
I'm on my first cup of coffee and shit.
Yeah.
What's
he talking about? It's already 6 o'clock right now. It's just 6 o'clock right now.
Hey, I want to hit on what y'all just said. I want to hit on what y'all just said on the players. I think the Ultra is right. They had a plan already in place. They knew they could go back and get Pickens. And why would you give up draft capital? And at the same time, you're getting a receiver that's experienced in the league. He's young, and you'll get your 3rd round back next year if they don't sign him.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. It's a no-lose situation.
But Ultra brought up a point, Randy, and I'll let Virus get in on this if he wants to. Just cut me off, guys, if you want to get in. Jesse's not here, so I mean, he just cuts off every time. I don't think Jesse tries to cut anybody off.
It's a timing thing.
How he's listening on his phone, he just wants to get in, but he don't realize that somebody's still talking. Love Jesse. He's hysterical.
I laugh every time because it's just so the timing on it is hilarious.
He knows that I just start boiling because he knows I had a head injury, and once I lose my thought or if I stop, I'm done. So, but anyway, Ultra, again, everybody forgets, right, that Hoffman, as much as we like Hoffman, I think
I love Hoffman.
He's a guy who is perfect in the role that he's in. He could be a lifetime swing guard.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
And that's fine. And that is fine.
But I think for his pay, I think he should be happy with where he's at.
Hoffman
do you want to play more for that pay? Like, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, no, you're good. I mean, Hoffman to me is like a backup quarterback, like obviously we know like a backup quarterback who maybe can start 3 or 4 games, but anything after that, you are going to get exposed, Yeah. So I think Hoffman, I love Hoffman, I do, but under the circumstances, I think it's better. He's more valuable to us as the backup guard, right, and the backup center if need be. I think that's everybody's forgetting that we're getting Pickens here, and Randy just said it. I think we're not giving up a 3rd-round pick just to let him walk out the door. But if that happens, he's going to go for $30 million, people, $25 to $30 million as we sit here today. And the market moves depending on what kind of year. So barring injury, he going to get that. That means 3rd-round comp pick if he gets $30 million. Next, or, there's a delay, obviously, but we'll get the 3rd round back. So I don't know, Ultra, how that's a bad deal for. I just think it's haters being just hanging on every word. And I agree with Ultra with the Guyton. I think everybody needs to slow down.
Well, we already have our guards in center. We don't need,
Again, go ahead.
It's funny how all the haters come out now that we got Pickens. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
they come out even harder than the lot lizards come out chasing Wade, and it's just, so it's got to be a good trade when they picked up Pickens. If you have all the haters,
Wade can have his choice of lizards, though. Wade's a good-looking dude, so he can have his choice of any lizard. He gets them early on in the
karaoke voice too. Whoop whoop.
Wade gets him early in the shift. You definitely want to get a lizard early in the shift rather than late in the shift, if you know what I mean. Anyway, get ahead, Wade.
Seconds.
I'm gonna hurl later.
He's a 60-minute man.
They're all on seconds. What are you talking about?
Anyway, what's up, Wade?
The point that I wanted to add.
You're breaking up.
Are you watching your car now?
Yeah, put the hose down. We can't hear you.
You're breaking up, Randy.
Yeah, we can't hear what you're saying. We lost Randy. Randy's here.
Right now, Randy's probably moving to a good area, good reception.
Randy's chasing a golfer on the golf course.
Hey, gopher.
Pickens is better than
that was it.
Ted. It's going to be a better impact for us than Ted.
Well, you were calling for it, Wade. You were calling for F the young. Not that he's not young, because everybody forgets. He just turned 24 in March. There are receivers in his draft that are older than him, and he's going into year 4. It was a perfect move for the Dallas to make. Now, as it comes out, they did reach out for Rashad Bateman. I'm actually glad they got Pickens over Bateman.
Yeah, I agree.
He fits a lot better with Dallas than Bateman does, in my opinion. So, Randy, let me know when you're in a better area. But yeah, Wade, you were calling for it. You were calling for some, and I think they've listened. More veteran type guys, even though he's only 24. That's the theme of this offseason, which I was trying to talk Loyal off the ledge. They're going with young, high talented guys who haven't necessarily lived up to where they, other teams have wanted them.
Yeah.
And if we're going to do that, I'd rather go with young, high talented guys. You will hit on some of these. You won't hit on them all. But Dallas has very good success bringing guys in for the 1 year. You're getting their value. So,
can I address something about with Daz? Daz, Where you get your information from? A Cracker Jacks box? Go look at Guyton's feet. Had the best feet in the whole damn draft. His issue ain't speed rushers. His issue is strength. So I don't know where you come up with this. And for a fact, there's not many Lane Johnsons, but Lane Johnson wanted the Eagles to draft Guyton.
They did. This is true. Yeah, Daz, I'll address a Guyton. A Guyton needs to get a little stronger, but the impressive part of him is his arm length, his feet, and Ultra touched on it. He's not getting burned because of speed. He actually held his own early on in the year last year. It was when there was tape on him and him thinking, him trying to pick up the swim moves
stunts and all that,
and all that stuff. That's where his issue. It's between the ears, and if there is a way that if there's something that you could correct, it's something like that. So physical, he's a physical beast. He was just bigger than everybody growing up.
Well, let me ask you guys a question here, and I'm going to try and change the subject and swing it another way. With how we went into the offseason, and we kind of knew, hey, you're going to have to pick up somebody. You can't go into it with the empty roster. You're definitely going to have some of these guys moving to other teams, so you're going to have to fill it in somehow. So we knew this going into it. But more recently, do you think with these type of moves, now you are going to have a crowd at the training camp? Oxnard is going to actually have some people that want to see Pickens, that want to see Easy, that want to see some of these guys. Before last year and the way that they kind of went about everything, I'm glad that people didn't show up. I was thinking it was going to be 2 years in a row, but now with some of these picks, I think it might be a busy one, even if it's just hoping to get into the playoffs type of thing. What do you guys think about that?
No, I think you're right. I think
a lot of people there, for sure.
Yeah,
because people want to see, how Dak and Pickens work their chemistry. They want to look at that, see if they're on the same page.
And the new coaching staff too. I think they want to see how that's going to work out.
God, that's what I would like to see. I would like to see some of those guys being able to get in there, start talking to guys like talk to guys like Booker, telling them how to push that pocket. I don't know. I think the most exciting move for me on the coaching staff was the offensive coordinator. I really like Schottenheimer. I really like Eberflus, but the offensive coordinator coming from the offensive line for Arizona, to me, I'm excited about him. And Coach Adam, right?
Clayton Adams.
Clayton Adams, yeah. So that's
Clayton Adams,
yeah. So that's the one I'm most excited about in that. But I think they did a great job.
No, I think they did too. I think you're right. I think it might be. It'll be filled this year.
And people go, "Well, how do you say that? You don't know." Well, listen, this is the time of year. Listen, guys like Daz, Jimbo, all the Eagle fans, and I appreciate your support. Again, this is all talk. It's all going to matter in September, October, November.
Right,
but again, this is what we're doing.
Well, it's true. Why do you want to get out there? You want to see these guys hit with pads on. I want to see how they take on a block. I want to see in certain situations if they can handle the person opposed from them, so there are a lot of stars on this team, so they're going to go against some of these rookies, and if they make a play, don't get too excited. But if a rookie makes a play on them, it says a whole lot. And so I think those veterans have to step up as well. But I'm excited about the weapons. I'm also excited about some of these guys that like Guyton, like Schoonmaker, the ones that haven't done anything. Hey, this is your year to do something, because this is a whole new coaching staff, and you could be out the door by the time you know it.
Yes. Looking at
you know why the Pigeons fans mess with Mozzie? Because that was our first, according to them, that we missed, because, they're still pissed that they drafted Rager over Jefferson, Smith over Parsons, Jordan Davis over Kyle Hamilton. So when we have the first miss, they keep on bringing up Mozzie Smith. It's like to justify that they're a great drafting team. So now they're trying to offset by Guyton by talking about their failure at number 17 with Andre Dillard. So that's what they do. They don't take, and why worry about your team? Like Jesse, if Jesse can say Abdul Carter can be the next LT, fine, that's your team. The Pigeon fans can say Jordan Davis can be the next Aaron Donald. Worry about your team. Even Momo, you can say all these players are stars. Worry about your team. You always criticizing coming up here talking about the Cowboys.
Up at Dallas Cowboys is business all the time. When you guys won the Super Bowl, why aren't you guys
listen? I appreciate
chilling?
Again, they're a channel member, Daz. He's entitled to his opinion, but again, it's real. I would say to just listen to what Ultra's saying because Tyler Guyton. The ceiling is high. Now, we'll be the first one to say, but it's only been 1 year. He had he started 7 games in college.
8 games, yeah.
Again,
well, even in the pros.
Phil, I would think that wasn't a Tyler Guyton problem. That was a Dallas Cowboys problem, putting him
in a lot of ways
in a position that maybe he wasn't going to succeed, even under the best of
Well, Mike McCarthy, how many times was he not helping his tackles by giving him an extra blocker or giving a little chip by the running back and stuff like that? There were so many times that they were putting him on an island, and then you just kind of leave him off that island as well. Okay, now we rescued him off that island. We didn't put him back on there. It's just, I think they kind of stunted his development. Sorry, jumping back in there, but
no. I want you guys to jump in there. I don't really have a game plan this morning. I was just going to do a morning chat because I felt bad. I haven't done nothing. I might do something later. We'll see. But you guys talk.
Dude, nobody said that, Daz. Like, you got a guy that was a top 4 pick compared to a guy that was picked in the back of the first round.
Jordan
you can't compare apples and oranges, man.
Yeah, and we're talking Jordan Davis. Where was Jordan Davis drafted?
You
12?
can draft.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, give me a comparison to another guy that was drafted back there. Karloftis or something like that. Something that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Just compare Andre Dillard to Guyton.
Yeah, that's more fair because that's where he was drafted. Andre Dillard. Guyton was at the bottom of the first round. You saw that it took Nolan Smith how many years to get? He was in the same draft as Mozzie. Now, Mozzie had a better year. Nolan had a better year than Mozzie last year. This is true. But, again, I would give Mozzie this year. The one thing I will say, looking over the coaching staff, because that's a big a bone of contention for Drew. Wow, we got a new coaching staff. Only the Cowboys can't overcome. Well, actually, our head coach has been with Dallas for how many years? He has 24 years of NFL experience, I believe. Clayton Adams comes in as the offensive coordinator. He has 7 years. Wide receiver coach, Junior Adams. He was out of Oregon. I think it's good to have a young wide receivers coach. Bringing in the new patterns and what could work.
And Oregon had an amazing receiving core. Let's be real, man.
Who?
Like, I know I'm an Oregon alum, but the receiving core was amazing. Think of Holden's back in this, but you had the Tez Johnson, all those guys. Yeah, they dropped in the thing, but guess what? They were playing to try to get to the national championship as well, too. And a lot of times in those third down, it was those wide receivers getting open. So to me, that has a lot to do with the coaching. Not to say that I'll translate, but at least makes me feel better about having a successful college career behind them.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think the Blue's going to be more valuable to us than people want to give them credit.
Who,
I really
Blue?
do. Yeah,
Jay on Blue.
I think Blue's going to be very productive for us.
I just worry who they're going to. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I don't have an insight. Go ahead. I'm not.
No, I'm just going to say I'm worried who they're going to compare with them. That's my worrisome in that sense. I feel better about the line being able to push and block for them. But it's still, I like the Phil Mafia thing. But
Phil,
you don't like the Mafia?
Well, again, it's a 7th round pick. You gotta.
Yeah, you can't expect a lot, but
again,
hopefully it is.
Why was he there in the 7th round? I'm not here to crap on Mafia. I'm just saying, I'm not. This is what Dallas fans do. We all get we just automatically anoint rather than. I love him. From what I see, I love Phil Mafia, but I'm a little bit more reserved than saying he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Number one, he has to have the opportunity to do this and do that. Mm-hmm. Now, what he's got going for him is just like Blue, just like the wide receiver out of Oregon that we got. His name is
Holden.
Is slipping me.
Holden.
Yeah, Holden. That's it, Holden. That we have a young guy who's not tied into what happened last year. People forget that they were force-fed an elderly Zeke Elliott for the first 7 games of the year. Rico Dowdle ran for over 1,000 yards and didn't play in the first 6.5 games. That is
he was undrafted.
And we talk about how bad our line was. Our offensive line was middle of the pack. Yeah, pass blocking, it wasn't great. Well, why do you say that? Well, we couldn't run the block. You run the ball early either with Zeke Elliott. And then our numbers started turning around once, Zeke was put down the pasture and we brought in younger legs.
Yeah.
And then we went to Dallas in November, and Mark Holmes is sitting there on a panel where he's arguing with Zeke's father. He didn't even know that was Zeke's father. That was
hey, Daz, you want to start? Hold on. Yeah, Daz, you want to start throwing off ranks and stuff? We just told you about Guyton's rookie year switching to the other side of the line, getting only to play half the season when the coaching staff was like, look, man, I need to fight for my job, not for this guy to develop. So, I mean, throw your rankings all you want and hope that's what he stays on. But, yeah, I feel better about a Guyton than a Walesko or
Joe.
Because
go ahead. Rankings. Eagles ranked 30th in passing the football, yet you still won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go. But if I threw that on there.
You know what's funny, Prime Time? And good morning. I forgot to say good morning to everybody. Morning, you know what the funny part about Daz? He said in the comment that Jordan Davis was one of the best DTs in the league when he's ranked 79th in the league, runs to the run. Number 12, Howie Season.
I think that's the one you let go and you put all your resources towards Carter. Right?
This is exciting, Daz. Thanks for giving juice early in the morning. I'm not awake yet for all this.
Me neither. I'm just wiping my boogers out of my eyes still.
Yeah, Daz came in swinging.
Channel member Daz is coming in hot because we were ranked number 1 in rushing. Well, what I'm saying is, Daz, you have to be able to be open-minded. I know you're a Dallas hater, and that's fine. We welcome you here, but you have to be open-minded. You can't throw out stats because they fit your narrative one way, and then if we throw out stats in another way that fits our mold, thing, again, everybody's just overlooking, and I hate to bring it up because it's over. And I don't want to talk about it, but everybody's overlooking the devastation that happened last year on our offense and defensive side of the football when it comes to injuries. Again, I will preface that by saying I don't believe we were going to the Super Bowl, so that's fine. But
it doesn't matter who you put up
football team. Where are we?
You're gonna try to hype up every single. Our kickers, and you're gonna hype up everybody, dude. It doesn't matter who we put up. Your bathrooms are the best in the league. Our mascot. Our mascot's the best. And we get it. You drink the Kool-Aid, dude. We get it.
If Lane Johnson goes down, the Eagles are done. For any length of time. That's one guy. And I'm not wishing that. I love Lane. No. Lane is a Texas boy. But what I'm saying is, you got to give us a little credit. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Like I said, it's like I said before. Last year was a failure to begin with because we lost Dan Quinn, and a lot of the defensive players were Dan Quinn guys.
Yeah.
So when Dan Quinn left, it's like the morale kind of went down the wall. I don't think they respected Mike McCarthy like they did Dan Quinn.
No.
A lot of people were just like, probably could have fought. That's right. A lot of people probably could have played through their injuries, but they probably said, fuck it.
What's the point? Yeah, exactly.
So I think that it was a morale thing more than anything last year. But this year, I think we could be a little bit more cautiously optimistic. I mean, it's a new era. Let's be honest. This is a new era for us because it's a new coaching staff. We got a new offensive line.
Well, you're right, Lou. Yeah, I mean, but the thing about it is that too right there also shows the stubbornness of Jerry Jones and, I don't want to waste a year of a contract. Is that, I don't want to throw away $5 million? Like, what is it? Like, let us get to the next stage. If you're already pushing past, I get what maybe the Jones were doing, hey, look, man, I've invested all this stuff. I need him to prove what he can do with the roster that we have, and then we can move forward, and then maybe, with Schottenheimer, he's trying to his best to give him the weapons to succeed. That just wasn't the same thing with McCarthy by the end of it. He was more of McCarthy needs to prove himself a little bit with what we already have. And that right there was a stunt to the Cowboys in general.
And Michael Parsons already fighting for him, already going to minicamp and, doing the practice. He's already showing that he's our good leader already.
Yeah, like I said, this coach, man, Schottenheimer, he's going in here with a chip on his shoulder. This might be his one and only shot to prove that he's a head coach in the NFL. Yep. So I believe that he'll give his best effort. Whether it's good or not, that remains to be seen. But I believe he'll give his best effort.
Well, the one thing we heard, and I see, good morning, D'Angelo Cranston. What's up, brother? He says Guyton is terrible. Again, he's had 1 year, buddy.
As of right now. He's got to prove it too.
I'm not going to sit there and say he's terrible. He was benched because of missing assignments. Physically, he's a beast. It's just hold that thought. And if you're entitled to say whatever, D'Angelo, I'm not telling you not to, but I would just tell you that Brian Schottenheimer is already on record in saying the best 5 are going to play. Okay? So I don't believe this is going to happen, but if it were to be right where he just can't play in the NFL, they have a solution in-house. I like Akeem Richards, who came in last year. Don't believe me? Go back and look at the stats. Akeem Richards was above average in pass pro. He was a very good player up until the point we lost him for this season. But we have an answer, and that would be moving Tyler Smith, who's already a Pro Bowl left guard, to left tackle, right? You could do that. I don't believe that's what they want to do. But you could do that, and that would be a way of possibly playing your best 5.
And a lot of people forget this. Go ahead.
People are underestimating the 2 signings that they made on that coaching staff. This offensive line is going to be better. Just look what Clayton Adams did as the O-line coach. That was like a power move, what they did, taking one of the best offensive line coaches and making the OC so you can get him out of Arizona. Then not only that, you grabbed one of the best college O-line coaches to come in and coach this staff. So I think all these guys are going to get better with the coaching that they have. So people thinking that our O-line is not going to be good, and then just go look. We were top 10 O-line at the end of the season, towards the end of the season. Last 8 weeks, I think we were top 10 O-line coming down the stretch. Booker's an upgrade of Zach Martin because Zach Martin is not the same player that he was when he was coming out. You're going to have 1,000 pounds of beef up the middle. I think Guyton, his second year, will be better. One of the things that Clayton Adams said when he came in there, one of the things he's looking forward to is he wanted to work with Terrence Steele. And Terrence Steele is one of the best right tackle run blockers in the league. So if he can figure out his pass pro, I think this old line is going to be perfect.
Yeah, and we're talking about, again, in the key positions, we got Clayton Adams, who's now, they're going to run his style. He's the offensive coordinator, but he has been again, we have the stats here. I could sit there and you bring him out ad nauseum about what Clayton Adams has done in Arizona with a below average talent on the offensive line. He now slides in as a coordinator, and we bring in Connor Riley from Kansas State, who also has been highly successfus. I like bringing young, offensive line coaches. I love that. I'd rather do that than bring a guy who was coaching under Tom Landry. No offense, brother. I wish you well, but we need to go younger in certain areas, and I like what we did. I really like. And don't ask me. We're not being Cowboy homers. Yeah, Brian brought us. Yeah, we kid Brian every now and again. We kid Brian brought us every now and again, but at the end of the day, he talks to his NFL. He's got 7 guys that he talks to that are active GMs, and he said,
"I wish I had one."
Dallas Cowboys have put together an all-star coaching staff that and I know it's on paper. Oh my God, here we go. I'm just telling you what they're saying. They actually invested in guys, not just names, but actually talented guys at their position. You're talking Steve Shimko to be quarterbacks coach, followed by a Ken Dorsey to be a passing game specialist. They got more offensive minds in there that are pretty darn impressive. I love the defensive guy. I mean, you got Matt Eberflus, who has 17 years of experience. He has coaching experience. He was already in Dallas once. He knows what to expect. And
there's a reason why he didn't take they were wanting to give him the defensive coordinator position before, but he didn't want to take the job from Rod Marinelli. Right. And then you saw him move over to Indianapolis, did an amazing job with that defense, go to Chicago, get the head coaching job, do an amazing job with that defense. So hopefully he does the same thing with us, man. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but at least you like his record.
And then you got defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton, who all he did was just turn defensive linemen into studs with the Jets. He has 13 years of experience.
Well, I mean, that's the first thing you think of, right? The Jets, you think of defensive line, defense in general?
Yeah, that's what you think of.
Whitecotton got the sucker alert with Howie. He got Bryce Huff paid. Whitecotton got Bryce Huff paid.
Yeah, it's funny because, Eagles... they're a little thinner now, right, on defense. A lot thinner, but again, they still have talented players.
Still got talent.
You know how that works. Again, we've been there. 2 years ago, Dallas choked it up. They choked it up. They were so deep. And I don't really like to rehash it. We know what happened. They did not live up to expectations. We were so deep along the offensive defensive lines. We did not take advantage. In my opinion, we didn't go out and make that George Pickens move that maybe we should have, at that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Last year, we were not deep. We had good starters. Once they went, it was going to be a shit show. And boy, did they go.
Yeah.
Now the Eagles are going to deal with a little bit of thinness, Go ahead, Wade. I'm sorry. Or
no, that was Loyal.
Loyal, what's up, brother? Go ahead.
I said Dan Quinn took half of our guys last year with him.
But that's what happens when you bring in guys on 1-year deals, right? We won't be necessarily as deep next year as we may be this year. Maybe it all depends. If we hit on these guys, some of these guys will leave. You can't keep everybody, So that's a good thing. But that means you got to win. You got to win. Dak's time is running out, and that's what's interesting about this going forward, especially dealing with two guys here who love Dak, but we are ready to move on because we want to win. We're more about the star on the helmet than the name on the back of the jersey. So we want to win. We want to shut people up and get the 6th Super Bowl, and that's what we want to do. But again, who knows?
Who you talking to, dude?
Well, can I ask a question to the panel?
Go ahead.
I got a question for you guys. Viewing this off season, I believe that who actually is running the team now, is more involved running the team, is Will McClay and Stephen Jones. I think Jerry's just like the face of it, because all these moves don't tell me it's Jerry. This tells me that it's those two running the team.
The Pickens one seems like it's more Jerry. It's hard for me to believe that Steven grew the balls to do that. I'm hoping that's the second. When they talked about 2 trades, I'm hoping that's the second trade, that they're trading Stephen Jones away. But we can only always hope. Nobody wants to trade for him. I think I love this offseason in the sense that it's different. We got different personnel in here. There were some guys that we all knew. I like Rico. We all liked Rico, but we all knew Rico's history of injuries.
He was limited.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. We need that type of back end here right now, but we weren't going to pay.
What's up, Joe DeMasi? How are you, brother?
And I think the Micah Parsons thing needs to happen next, but I still love that they did a different offseason, and with Ultra, I think, and I said this going into the draft, the scouts are going to be involved and they're going to be controlling this draft, and that's exactly what happened. I'm still shocked by it. And I'm not saying that they're good moves, great moves, or bad moves. I'm still shocked by even just afterward, because I wouldn't have gone Booker in the first round.
What's up, Jammers?
And then look what you do with Pickens and stuff. So everything looks amazingly genius as of right now. Yeah. Not my plan,
Well,
I agree.
Just getting to Daz, you are thinner on defense than you were last year. I mean, that you cannot say you're not. You went and drafted young. Again, if you're not going to give us credit for our young guys, then it's the same thing. You lost Milton Williams, right? You lost Josh Sweat, who had 4 sacks in the Super Bowl. You lost Darius Slay. You lost Isaiah Rodgers. You lost Oren Burks. You lost Mekhi Becton. It goes on and on.
Can I jump on there, Brian, as well? Let's be real. You are now to the point where you're starting to pay a lot of your roster instead of only a couple of people. And so now you're starting to spread it more. Not bashing on anything. We're talking about how football works. This is what they lost
C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So again, all I'm saying is, Des, that now thins you out. You now have to rely on an Andrew Makuba, who I really liked, but he's still an undersized safety. Okay, it's a lot of but we love him. But I loved a lot of guys that haven't necessarily worked out. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that you have question marks. You will start the season with a bullseye and a younger, less experienced, we've done it before team. That's all. That doesn't mean you won't be successful.
Well, the offense should carry you. I mean, let's be real.
Your offense should carry you. You did lose Becton. We'll see how the replacement goes. I know that they like their backups, but you brought in Becton for a reason. Is it going to be Tyler Steen? I don't know. Put in the comments, Daz. I'm not real sure. Anyway, I just wanted to say, if you're being honest,
you're
Daz, you have a lot of you're thinner. That's all it is. That's all I'm trying to say. You're thinner because you don't have
even the team that I think is going to be at the bottom of our division has gotten a lot better. Let's be real. The Giants are a good team.
Giants have
look at the roster. Yeah, look at the roster. I mean, yes, I bash them. You're picking top 5 every single year. You better hit. You're peeing on the toilet. It's just one of those things. It's just they got a good roster. You look at Abdul Carter, and now he's a big dude. And that's where I worry about with our rosters, our tackles. So it's going to be an interesting year. But this is going to be a hell of if you're going to ever improve, it's going to be against our defense in practice, in training camp. And now it's going to get you ready for the season when you have to go against these type of teams twice a year. But yeah, even the Giants, man, look at that roster was pretty good. Even their quarterback. I'm not going to say that he's going to come out and sling it and be amazing, because he still has to make that transition from college to NFL, especially for a guy that wasn't playing for playoffs and national titles and stuff like that. So there still needs to be a big transition.
Yeah, and that's why I love this division so much, because we got the Super Bowl champion Eagles, right? We know they're good, but as Dallas fans, we actually are excited to play this year. It was a rough year last year. It was a rough year on fans of the Cowboys because of everything that happened. But they did I did see where they released the first game. Did you guys
the Bears?
No, that was wrong. That was wrong. Yeah, that was wrong. I believe I saw I don't know where I had it. It was the Chiefs. The Chiefs will be opening up on Thursday night against somebody. Please put it in the chat. It was leaked. I'm trying to find it.
Well, normally the team that wins the Super Bowl
Chiefs will join Chargers in Brazil for Week 1, so that'll be the Friday game. So Eagles will be Thursday, but we got a Chargers Chiefs in Brazil. So the Eagles will not open up against the Chiefs like they wanted. I never thought that was going to happen. I think maybe Detroit. I think I don't know. What do you guys think? Eagles' first game of the year. I mean, what are you thinking at home?
I'm thinking maybe Washington.
Washington's a good one.
Just because they played in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. Any thoughts out there that what you guys think? Just looking at it, I would say Washington makes a lot of sense, but normally Washington will get the Eagles at a later date at home. Well, they play them twice, but Washington will get a prime time. I think both of those games may be prime time. So that'll be interesting. I could see Washington in Philly on Thursday. I could see that. Stay tuned for the schedule release show on Wednesday. So we will be here, me and Phil, and then we will Zoom everybody in shortly after. Barkley won the Rams game. Barkley was a beast, man, behind that offensive line. So, again, that'll keep you in games, Eagle fans. So just know that barring injury, you guys will be in every game for the most part. It's just that defense. Again, there is some question marks with that defense. So, not that you're bad, but I'm just saying you're going to rely on a rookie safety. You're going to be relying. Darius Slay's gone. No, James Bradbury's gone, but James Bradbury stunk anyway. Slay, I thought, was decent, But, we'll see, man. You don't have Milton Williams for depth, and you don't have Josh Sweat for depth. So, not Denzel Daxon. That dude that you guys drafted that's going to play edge at times. I mean, Bryce Huff may not even be on this team at the start of the year. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. I mean, Bryce Huff was a monumental failure. I know they were trying to move him during the draft, but we'll see. We shall see.
I want to add to that what you just said, Brian. The Eagle fans aren't even looking at possibilities of, and I'm not wishing injuries on anybody, but my God, you have to have luck involved. And I don't care how good your team is. If the injury bug hits your team, you can drop like a rock. We found that out last year.
Yeah. I mean, we had 3 straight years of 12 wins.
Yeah. I think people are bypassing on what happened to us last year, and I think we've actually gotten
fine
better
with it. But I'm just because I like laying low. But
I do too.
I'm tired. Ultra is tired of laying low. He wants to flex and say we're coming for your meats, and I get it because it's tiring just having to we had one bad year. Not, well, what do you mean you have one bad year? You've only won one playoff game in the last 3 years. Well, okay.
Going to the Super Bowl, baby.
There you go. I like the flex. It's just
go Ultra, go.
To me, if I say it, which is fine. I mean, there are other YouTube channels that say it, and they can say whatever they want and look foolish. But I try not to. I look foolish enough as it is. I don't need to. I don't need to flex it.
Well,
so yeah.
I've heard enough of how great they are and all this other stuff. God help them if we win the division and go on.
Well,
I'm telling you.
You know what would happen now, and this goes to everybody on the Zoom call, and you guys can get on this. What do you think the first thing's going to happen if we do win a division? Okay, what's going to happen next? Just somebody.
Well, Dak ain't going to win in the playoffs. Okay. That's going to be the next thing.
They're all going to be saying, "Oh, but you choked anyway." It doesn't matter. Just get me into the playoffs.
Well, they'll say, "Oh, well, we didn't play anybody. Wait, let's play a good team."
Yeah.
Then you
yeah.
There'll be excuses. 500 said, he said, "What are you going to do in the playoffs? I don't care if you win the division."
It was always about the playoffs for us. It was always about the playoffs for us. To me,
because that's the only argument they have.
So,
well, six years ago, they couldn't say anything.
Well,
I mean, yeah, they've had a nice run. And they're very good.
They're a very well run organization.
Yes, and that's what I respect about their team. But having to hear this stuff for 30 years, it's built up. And I'm telling you, I'm not one that talks up front. I like to do my talking on the field.
Yeah.
And I just hope that's what they do. I'm happy that we're young, and I'm happy that we're doing the moves that we're making. We're getting younger. This coaching staff is 1,000 times better than our coaching staff last year.
And listen, we'll give you guys low-hanging fruit, Ultra. If we don't
Hall of
win,
Fame quarterback. Here we go. Hall of Fame quarterback season.
If we don't win this year with Dak, and we can hear from Walker Wade, because I know, if we don't win this year with Dak, what
me
needs
and
to happen?
Ultra agree. We don't agree on a lot of shit, but we agree on Dak. That's
what needs to
damn
happen?
sure.
What needs to happen, my opinion? Like
Well,
you say
Dak's
here in
done.
Puerto Rico, grow some
Dak's
cojones
done.
and move up for a quarterback. If you believe Dak is not the answer and he chokes, but I'm going to try to be optimistic this year because I think part of the bad juju is me constantly complaining about Dak.
I don't want to think negative, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, no, I don't want to be negative neither. I don't think Dak's making it through the season. I'm just being dead serious. I'm just being dead serious, bro. I'm sorry, that leg's compromised, bro. That leg's compromised.
But one thing I can say about,
but we'll be okay with Milton.
I agree. I agree with Milton and Clayton Adams. I think they will have a game plan for him to use his legs a lot in immediate passes and deep throws.
He just fine.
They protected himself better than Cooper Rush with Clayton Adams. Milton is more of a Clayton Adams quarterback.
Yeah, we'll be just fine.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Dak is coming off one of his worst injuries, I think. Well, not besides the foot. That was probably
the foot was the most.
When you pull a hamstring off the bone, I mean, that's a lot of game changer.
It was on a non-contact play too. That's what makes it
look
even
at Tyron
more.
Smith.
We all understand that the NFL is what have you done for me lately? Because the year before he was an MVP running candidate. So I mean, I totally get you. I worry about that as well too. It's like Overshown. I love Overshown, but injury. Yep. Like it's a concern. I love that
Overshown
we
can't
have him
get
out
injured
there.
no more.
Yeah, we fly him around and he's doing all this stuff, but then boom, he's just out for the whole year and stuff. And so that's my new Sean Lee kind of guy. So yeah, I love a lot of this roster, but they need to prove it, especially, you can start to feel that way with a lot of guys. I mean, almost all of our guys were injured last year. Should you be concerned with all of them? I think you end up becoming concerned because obviously Dak is our main, he's taking up most of the roster money, right? And we're paying him like the top quarterback in the league when we all know that he needs help around him. And we're not denying that. I think we're all on board as well too. I think everybody here would have been okay if they didn't re-sign him and they continued on and just try to make a push.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about though, Phil, is that I think the change is coming. We're at the end of Dak. I think we're at the end.
But we got to be positive,
That's what
man.
I'm
We got to be
excited
positive
about.
this year. Let's be positive. But one thing I can say is I'm going to be the optimistic. Tyron Smith had the same injury, and the following year he made the Pro Bowl. you know. And the same thing with Overshown. We seen Overshown coming off an ACL surgery, and look how he balled out last year. I think they prepared themselves in the linebacker room that if an injury does occur again, they're not.
Shamir James. I don't see it, but if you look at his tape, I can see the Overshown comparison where that's what they're wanting, somebody to take his place there.
Yeah, but they have 3 decent starting linebackers. What happened was in that year that we had Dan Quinn, we had to play Marquise Bell. But, you know, they went out and signed Jack Sanborn. They traded for Kenneth Murray. They drafted Shamar James. They have Leofau coming back, who was coming on towards the end of the season. So
you think
one thing I can say, my optimism is that they prepared themselves for injuries, which in the past they haven't.
You don't think so? You don't think Kendrick's coming back?
No, I don't think Kendrick.
No, I don't either.
Don't fit the Eberflus system.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
I think that's why they traded up and got Shamar James.
Yeah, that one to me is still a question mark.
I'm with you, Phil, because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I hear his interviews and I really like the way he talks, but I haven't seen it on the film yet.
I haven't either.
What's up, Thomas Garrett?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm starting to jump in a little bit more on these rookie camps as well too, as they're going around the league. Man, this media is over criticizing the Cleveland quarterback room, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
let's be kind of did that himself though. Talking about I'm wearing number 12, pick up where Tom Brady left off.
Oh, I know. He just keeps blurbing stuff out the mouth that you're just like, dude,
shut up and just play football.
Now you know where Hard Knocks is going to be.
In Cleveland, yep.
It's going to be Cleveland. Oh,
he needs to get a roster. What about getting a roster spot instead talking about, I'm going to be the next Tom Brady.
Well, even Dylan Gabriel. I mean, the media guy was like, I'm taller than him. Like, he was like mouthing that he was taller than Dylan Gabriel. Well, yeah, but he's a better athlete than you, man. Let's be real. It's like I bash on a lot of the thing. The height really wasn't what got me with him. It was just some of his play. I still think he's going to be a successful quarterback. I don't know about playoffs and all that, but I think he can still come in here. Yeah, gotta talk about playoffs. But man, they are bashing those Cleveland quarterbacks right now.
Again, to me, and I want to touch on that too. They were talking about if we were to get Tet McMillan, what would have happened was we probably would have taken Shedeur in the 4th round, which I would have been fine with that. I really would have, because I know what you're saying. But I want to find the next guy before we, and I love Joe Milton, but again, I don't know. I would have liked to have had one more guy to compete with Joe for the future. We just don't want to anoint him.
We may see Milton this year.
I know, which is
Will
why.
Greer?
Yeah, I mean, we need another quarterback. So you need at least 4 to be able to have a season, because 3 you have to be ready to roll on game day. Now with the new rule. So
didn't we sign that Texas rookie for the camp? I think that's all it was.
It was just for that camp. He has not been signed. Yes. So
no. I mean, to me, yeah, that would make sense. You bring in another guy. I mean, 3 can't be. You can't just put in. Oh, all 3 that are going to be throughout the season. We're going to play you through the training camp. We're gonna run. Man, you bring in other guys to relieve some of those throws. You don't want to throw it all on those guys.
Now I got one for you. Let's say Dak has a bad season, gets hurt, in Wade's world, that one. And then you go ahead and you say, okay, we're going to post June 1 cut Dak. The money is feasible like that. Then you go ahead and say, okay, we're going to grow some, and we're going to go ahead and use our draft capital, re-sign all the players that we have, what we saved, and go ahead and use draft capital, grow someone, and move up for Drew Aller. So then you're definitely in business.
Yeah, I like Drew Aller a lot. He did not come out this year. They were saying if he did come out, I'm just saying right now, if Drew Aller came out this year, he may have been number 2 quarterback taken.
Again, man, you're talking about the team success. You're talking about team success. If you're talking about Cowboys and Eagles, yes, you could talk like that. Dak versus, you're talking about the quarterback position.
I don't like doing that, Phil. Dak versus,
constantly.
But
it's just constantly. It's just constant. Just shut it.
Who cares what Dak's record is? Dak's 33-8.
Put your ass in the crazy in the regular season.
Record is like 33-8 against the East. Where has that gotten us? 3 playoff wins.
Again, re-ripping this stuff. Like,
2
doesn't mean
playoff
anything.
wins under Dak. Again, who cares? we only say it as just a matter of, well, that's his record. When we're looking at playoffs, you have to look at what your quarterback has done against his
What's
own
the defense
division.
done? What's that defense done against the other team? Did your quarterback have to score 30+ points?
Wow.
It's just those type of stuff. It's just I hate those comparison type of things, especially when it comes to certain positions.
It is a team game, and I know me and Drew will get into it. Well, like, when is it a team game? It's always a team game. Ultimately,
Dez, he's a 500 Super Bowl quarterback. He's not undefeated like Troy Aikman, okay? Yeah. Average Super Bowl quarterback, 1-1.
Yeah. I mean,
he's been there twice.
He's been there twice. I would like that. But again, I don't like comparing to guys who have never lost in a Super Bowl. Even Brady lost in the Super Bowl, not once, but twice, right? Didn't he lose twice?
3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Brady lost 3 times.
I like Aikman, but let's be real, with that Buffalo game where they weren't doing anything against Buffalo, that defense kept them in it.
Oh, you mean?
And then all of a sudden, the second half,
okay,
they started running the ball,
and then all of a sudden, that's when
I would say team game. I would say offensive line, defensive line. Remember those teams, and I hate going back there, but you guys brought it up. The '90s team, we had
the defense was
the defense. The waves of defense, and it elevated our corners, which is what I think you saw last year with the Eagles. The corners didn't have to cover for 3, 4, or 5 seconds because they were getting home inside 2.5 seconds with a 4-man rush. That's
dude.
That's euphoria. Man. That's euphoria for any team, is being able to get there with 4. We'll see if they can this year.
He's talking. The great choker stuff. Again, you got a defense that did one thing. You got a running back that's the MVP. That come on, think about that. You got the guy, the number 1 running back in the league, and and you got Rico Dowdle that's not even on the team. You got all these 3 to 4 wide receivers that are making Pro Bowls and stuff like that. But just your quarterback throwing short passes.
It's my quarterback.
Apparently, it's Kellen Moore. Shoot, Kellen Moore just did an amazing job of coaching, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just by his coaching. See how that makes those things? It's the
you're seeing the narrative. Kellen was able to take elevate Hurts, but he couldn't elevate Dak because he sucks. No. He also had an unbelievable number 1 overall defense and a top. He had the best running game. That's the key. Running game. Defense.
No, I get the argument.
Will bring you in. Just look at Trent Dilfer and the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, running game, defense.
That Buccaneers versus Raiders, Super Bowl.
Yeah,
think about that one. That one to me was a big one because you had John Gruden that knew the Raiders. Let's just be real. He knew who the Raiders were, and he knew what their weaknesses were, and he just went to town on it. And the Raiders had never played a defense quite like the Buccaneers at that time.
Buccaneers had Tony Dungy's guys.
And who was the quarterback there? Brad Johnson?
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing Hall of Famer, Brad Johnson.
That's why the Buccaneers beat the Raiders. Those are Tony Dungy's guys, not John Gruden guys.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting.
Well, it's always interesting. And then I always love those what ifs and stuff. And so, you could talk about those there all day. It is fun. It's fun. And that's what's nice about that with rivalries and stuff like that too. Because, they have the fuel to say, hey, well, last year we whooped your ass. Well, last year we didn't have Dak either. It's like, so there's both. There's fuel on both sides. And each one has their ammo to be able to go into the offseason. And at least Jerry gave us something to, at least with Pickens, to give us some kind of hope. For our offense, because again, if you're going to go just rely on CD, not to say he's not capable, he's just not going to be able to show up every single game. There was 1 or 2 last year that he kind of disappeared, but because the defense took him out of there, and then the offense couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. Well, just talking somewhere around the league, is Abdul Carter? Is there already problems?
Yeah, has he figured out a number?
He's going to wear 51, and he's not happy with it.
Dude,
again, this is these immature people, Phil.
It's just funny because he went from one number that wasn't available to another number that wasn't available to legends, and it's like,
Abdul Carter, he's not happy that he has to wear 51. He goes, I'll deal with it.
My God, he's talking about the greatest defensive player I've ever seen.
I don't understand that, man.
Good God, why would you want the same number?
Don't get me wrong. Dallas is, and I think most teams should do this, stop putting numbers away, but they've been they'll give out 33, right? They'll give out a 33 in preseason just because they don't have enough numbers. Like the roster is growing with the practice squad. You're already seeing double numbers, right? You got Holden wearing 7.
I know. Golly, that's all that.
Holden wearing 7. You got Diggs wearing 7. It'll all shake
27.
out. Yeah. I don't like some of the numbers either. We hated 13.
This guy's an idiot. D'Angelo and Daz are related.
I do like the number 0, though. I like the number 0. That looks nice.
I love 0.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've been calling it for the beginning of last year. 13's a hex number.
Unlocked number.
Yeah, I would not be dealing with that ultra. I would not end virus.
Well, my whole thing is I'm okay with the retiring number, and if you let them use it, don't let them use it for the position it was retired in. Okay, like if you're giving 8, give 8 out, but not to a quarterback. You can give it to a wide receiver. You can give it to a defensive back. You can give him 12. Don't give it to a quarterback. Don't give number 22 to a running back. Don't give 33 to a running back. You understand? Don't give 88, to a tight end.
Sense.
Like to a wide receiver. It's just those certain numbers. Like you just don't give them to certain positions.
Daz has got you in knots, Ultra.
Oh my God!
Come on, get it off your system. Come on, get it off your chest. Daz has got you all tied
man,
up.
These people
What's up,
something else.
CZ?
Go
Thanks,
worry
brother.
about your quarterback too, Daz. Who's playing quarterback too? Tight hips, Ringo? Go ahead. Go worry about that.
Well, it's funny because I'm hearing my man Philly 500. He just loves him some Ringo, and listen, I like some of his traits, but I don't know. We'll see. Again, we'll see, people. I can't wait till football actually starts because one of two things is going to happen. I think there's no middle ground with Dallas. I think they're either going to be really good this year or they're going to win 8 wins. I don't.
8 games,
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be.
I don't see it bad unless
I don't see horrible. I see 8 wins or 11 wins. I think it's kind of easy to predict where they're going to be. I just do. Bruce Banner's in the house. What's up, man? Ultra get his info from Big Sills. Big Sills. If you want facts, just know Big Sills ain't the guy finding the facts. He's got a producer in his ear giving him all of his information. So he's got
D'Angelo, you are
Xander
an idiot
Tunsil.
because you drafted Rager over Jefferson. You drafted Smith over Parsons. You drafted Jordan Davis over Kyle Hamilton. You could have had 3 All-Pros and you still bring up Guyton.
Yeah,
Get a clue, brother. Get a clue.
That's all they got.
That's all they're going to run into. Yeah, that's all they're going to hold on to.
What happens if Guyton becomes a Pro Bowler this year?
Then
you got
another guy. They'll move on to another guy who's having a.
Yeah, that's what is. I agree.
It'll still be Mozzie though.
It'll be Mozzie.
Yep.
This is the thing, though. I'm telling you, I have a weird feeling about Mozzie. What's up, 808 Cowboy?
Well, I mean, it's a hard position to just flex stats in. Let's be real.
Mozzie, Eberflus. Just be aware. Be aware of how negative you are on Mozzie because Eberflus is said to be in love with what Mozzie could potentially bring. He fits Eberflus's system more than probably anybody's system.
Smith over Parsons was a win.
Smith over Parsons was a win. Come on, Dez. Come on, brother. That's not good. I mean,
see, right there, you had a lot of credibility. Now you keep saying stuff that just kind of brings your credibility down a lot, dude.
Listen, it's funny you brought it up. I mean, I should probably show this image.
Well, I mean, they benefited from 2 other teams' stupid mistakes about their franchise players. Let's be real. Good job on that. I mean, I got to give them credit on that.
I'm going to show this image. I'm going to email to myself. I'll bring it up, and you guys can laugh at it, but these are the facts. Just give me a minute. Just keep talking, Phil.
Well, I just think it's funny. They have nothing against the Eagles, but every single Eagle constantly is sticking Parsons in the Eagle jersey when they can. They're always constantly sticking how much he wants to be part of the team, but yet you're bashing on him constantly and stuff like that. I get it. I mean, it's a threat. Let's be real. It's like when a boy pulls a girl's hair on the playground. You really can't actually like him, And I think that's kind of what's happening here. There's a threat there, so you try to bash it to make it. What, other people believe that? I mean, we see Parsons. We understand if Parsons is not part of this team, we're not the same defense.
Mm-hmm.
And what we also understand is Parsons can be neutralized out of a game. You run towards him. all you got to do is hold him because the referees are not going to call those plays. So many Cowboy fans could put a whole highlight of reel together of him just being held and not being called. And so, but it's part of those things. I mean, Dan Quinn, when he was here, what did he do to counter it? He didn't go, okay, well, let's start talking to the refs. No, he started double teaming and holding Parsons in practice to kind of get him ready for that. And unfortunately, it's something that he has to overtake. And I think it's just like quarterbacks, where you had Newton and them that would run and they became a running quarterback. Well, now you're a running back, and because you're a big quarterback, you can take the hits, but certain quarterbacks you throw flags on, So it's just a part of their game that they have to kind of counter.
You know what's funny too, Daz? You know what's funny? I seen Micah Parsons dog walk Lane Johnson into Hurts for a sack. So I don't know where you win some, you lose some, but I seen him dog walk Lane Johnson into a sack with Hurts. Now you're going to bring up a 2017 Taco Charlton for TJ Watt. Go look at your history of first rounder. Straight booty.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Here we go.
He's just jumping on anything.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't get carried
away.
No,
we're not. No, that's the thing is it's good. I think I love it. I love
the CD. I'm going to cover some of this for a second, but there's the CD comparison here versus AJ, right? If 3-2 versus the Cowboys, AJ 2-3 versus the Eagles. Games played 49 for CD, 47 for AJ. Remind you, this is without a real running game for the most part. Right?
I mean, take a look at this. Take a look at this. They're going to be quick to jump on how many receptions did he have compared to how many yards he got out of those receptions.
But I'm just saying, it's not far off.
Then no. But then you want to turn around and give Jalen Hurts all the credit. This guy caught the ball, then ran like crazy afterwards.
I mean, look at 49. I mean, it's scary how close it is. 43, 261. I mean, CD had way more over. I don't know. I guess it's 80 some more receptions. Receiving yards, CD has it big time.
I mean, how did the rest of the team go?
More average yards per catch, AJ. Receiving TDs, CD.
Seems like that should be more, though.
Rushing attempt. I mean, AJ doesn't give you anything rushing. CD has 2 touchdowns rushing. Again, it's not as bad, but yet CD had close to 1,400 yards last year with.
But Jimbo, why do you have those receptions? Because you have other weapons. What you're bashing on Tolbert, all this stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's the truth though. What other weapons did they have to other go to?
We had a backup quarterback last year with those stats. So I'm just saying, for those who like to crap on CD and elevate AJ, the stats again, I don't like using that. I had it for a few days. But, it's like from Ultra, but I don't like using that because I don't really care about the stats. I only bring up stats when you guys bring it up that, no, the stats don't actually say that. Running the football means something. The physical toll that an offensive line does to a defense means something. Adding a Saquon means something, So these are facts.
Little dog has a zoomies.
But anyway, does he?
Yeah, right. It's just going crazy. He was like, "Yeah, Brian, you tell him. No, I'm just
exactly."
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to is our offense. Our team is going to be fresh this year. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by fresh is we're not going to be looking at the same team we've watched the last 10 years. We're looking at a team that's going to be different, and hopefully they're going to be better. And if they're better, we're going to be right where we want to be.
Yeah, I get excited. I unfortunately, it sucks to say, I get excited about the next following season just because of how well they did this off season. It just with Schottenheimer, they're trying to give him that culture. They're trying to give him those extra weapons to allow him to have success. And see, I don't know if you just saw that. The dog just. Here we go. Watch right there. See her.
The thing that scares me.
I see it.
The thing that scares me, though, is as soon as something goes south, then Cowboy and them, they want to jump in. Why don't they just let them go through and trust the process? But they always feel as soon as something goes bad, nope, we got to bring our coach in,
Yeah, it's at least with Jerry. I don't know if it's more physically because he can't do it, but at least he's not coming down to the sideline like he used to.
I agree. That got old.
Yeah, now they gave him that little bitty Pope booth, you know.
Yeah, I don't know that he can make the walk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Lou Branch, what's going on?
Well, he got an elevator takes him straight down to the field, though.
A Wonkavator.
Lou Branch, but did it affect you guys last year? It did not. So we were obviously wrong. Right, Lou? New coaching staff will matter, like y'all. Again, we were wrong. So what are you saying?
No, I'm reading Ultra's comment.
Cowboys are going to be just fine.
I agree.
Wow,
I think we're going to.
There we go. Look, Eagle fans aren't going to dig this, Wade. When you get your channel up,
because Dak Prescott's days are numbered. Hallelujah. I'm already ready to move on.
Bro, he's like that yang sign in the back.
I'm ready to move on. Dak Prescott, garbage.
Oh, God.
Actually, Joe, I do believe Miles Sanders is better than Barkley.
Well, if we're just throwing shit up against the wall, I mean,
yeah, exactly. Might as well.
Let's
do it. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
I don't think Miles is on the team.
I think Stephen Jones is a better GM than Howie. How about that?
Dank the Moss. Come on, man. Dank.
What about Dank? You don't talk about Ultra's girl.
Oh God, Ultra's girl. I don't know. I think Ultra would be just fine with Dank.
No, Loyal was swimming with the dolphins in Dank on his vacation.
I heard that she's got the lap band, so she's not 500.
No, she was a whale.
She's
that was a whale.
I seen that. Oh God.
Try to ride that thing, huh?
So real quick before we get out of here, how was Miami, Loyal?
Oh, I had a great time, man. I seen a lot of stuff. Seen dolphins because I had never seen dolphins before until then, but it was cool.
Very cool.
I had a great time. Weather was nice. Couldn't ask for anything else.
So those Miami teams are very accurately named. Let me just tell you one thing. You got Dolphins, you got the Hurricanes. Like, yeah, they're very accurately.
Well, there's a lot of Pelicans. I'm surprised they didn't bring any Pelicans up in any sports teams.
Well, that's why the mascot for the Hurricanes is a pelican. That's why it's weird. If they're a hurricane, but their mascot's a pelican. It's like,
yeah, that's true.
I did not know that. That's wild and crazy stuff.
Loyal, did you do at front of the ship? Did you do the Titanic with Thank the Moss moment?
Oh God, man, you gotta make me throw up on air.
Oh, God. That would be a no. Oh God. Steven's pyramid will be bigger than Jerry's. Stephen White. Yeah, man, I think we have I think this is the beginning of the end of Jerry. I think Jerry's going to be around. I don't think he's stepping down in name, but I think you see a difference. This was the first year that they allowed Will McClay in on the hiring process and what Dallas does. And Will may take some things that they do, and he may have his own plan. I'm sure the aura or the feeling I get when I see Stephen Jones regarding his father is he has to allow his dad to be himself. But I'm sure Stephen doesn't always agree with everything Jerry does. We've heard nightmare stories. You know, I think he knows it's ultimately going to be him, and he's trying to lay the groundwork for running the franchise the way he would want, you know, but he's not going to. He has too much respect for his father, and he should. Bill T, what's going on? Brian, I think Miles Sanders will be on the Cowboy 1 and 2 running. Again, Bill T, I'm just saying right now he has a lot of work to do. We got to hope that Miles is not the guy from last year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at that, Javonte Williams to me is the one that makes this roster compared those two. I mean, it's one of those two, and I think Williams makes it more compared to Sanders.
Yeah. I think both of the rookies are on it, but we don't know. Now,
you could put Phil Maffa into the practice squad.
Now, my thing to you, Phil, and maybe Ultra, and maybe Randy, like guys you may know, where does Phil Maffa compared to Bo Scarborough? Remember we drafted Bo Scarborough a few years ago. Who was a higher rated guy? Because Bo Scarborough did not make it in the NFL. Is Phil Maffa better than Bo Scarborough? Does anybody?
I think
know?
Phil Maffa is better than Bo Scarborough because I watched a lot of Alabama. They're both like similar type backs, but I still think Maffa is a little bit better than him. They're both power backs. I think Bo Scarborough was drafted in the 7th round.
Yeah, something like
but
that.
But I think Maffa's one thing I like about the running back room. Even though I do believe Miles Sanders is better than Barkley, I think there's a lot of competition in there, and it's going to bring out the best of all those players. And that's just me kidding about Miles Sanders with Barkley, just to fire up
he's
Pigeon
just doing
fans.
it just to get Daz's under Daz's skin.
But I think there's competition. That's one thing about those 90s teams. There was a lot of competition. I love competition. I want to see competition. The best people rise to the top, and they should be the starters.
Yeah, when I look at those two, Bo was definitely the higher. He was playing for a higher, Alabama. He was, didn't they compete for a national title? I'm not wrong, but I think it was during that time. So to me, he had definitely a higher level. I think they both fall in that category of, if you don't get the blocks, can they do anything? Can they break a tackle? They have to start kind of running downhill in order to kind of get going. So when I watch the tape, that's the part that I want to see. It's like, okay, in college, sometimes people get so wrapped around, well, the stats are this. Well, sometimes people didn't ask them to do that. Coaches maybe wanted them to do a certain thing on the team. We go, look, man, we already have that guy. We need you to do this, where in the NFL, you can do a little bit more of a variety. And so, I'm interested to see, what happens when the wall is there of the linebackers. Can he push through it? Can he break tackles? Or is he one of those big guys that if he doesn't get the blocks, it just doesn't go anywhere? So I hope he doesn't fall into that category. And I think that's what happened with Bo as well.
808 Cowboy says Jaden Blue is A-chain comp. Yeah, speed-wise, I think he's a one-cut type of guy. He's got to hold on to the ball. That's easy to learn. Yeah, these guys come. I mean, the NFL has way more coaches, way more specialty coaches. Emmett had a problem with running, fumbling at times, and they cleaned it up. Again, it's just, that's an easy fix. But, we'll see. Another couple moves I liked by the Cowboys, before we get out of here, I want to keep it at an hour and a half. So we got about 8 more minutes, maybe 7. I like the 2 guys that they signed from Syracuse. We got a linebacker, Justin Barron. I really like this kid. And a defensive back.
Elijah Clark.
Yeah, Elijah Clark, exactly. Just go do your homework on these.
I was watching Elijah Clark before. I thought he was going to be like a 6th or 7th rounder.
They really helped themselves with Justin Barron too, the linebacker. Very, very physical. That's the theme I'm getting. We're getting downhill physical guys. We all know what Overshone brings. He brings a sideline effort. So again, linebacker is normally a position you could get later just to add to the room, come in, be unbelievable on special teams out the gate, which is what I think of Shamar James. They love Shamar James, and maybe way more than Phil does. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to
I liked his interview. He was saying the right stuff. So,
again, NFL coaching matters. It really does. You saw what NFL coaching did for Josh Allen. Remember Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, for that matter. We can say whatever we want about Lamar not getting it done. He's been highly, highly successful for a guy who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn necessarily coming out of college, as well as Josh Allen. Coaching matters. That's why I'm excited to get Joe Milton in here. You're seeing that Phil's guy is really lighting it up in the Cleveland camp out of the University of Oregon. We'll see. Everybody's doing great this time of year, but you're hearing Jalen Milroe is looking great, and his accuracy is a lot better than what people think. Yeah, who knows, right, Randy?
Put a rush behind that, and we'll see how good they freaking look.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw a name at y'all. Ronaldo Fairweather, the tight end from Auburn. Watch out for him. He's got a good shot at making this team.
Well, if John Stevens cannot stay healthy, John Stevens' career may be over. We'll see. I'm not trying to be negative, but he had 2 devastating knee injuries on the same knee. We'll see. You saw Jonathan Brooks in Carolina go through something. Now he's out for the year. My heart breaks for the kid. It's just horrible what I mean, he never got his big payday. I mean, he was a second-round draft pick, and he's hardly played. So it could be worse. And yeah, Stephen White, we're hearing that Travis Hunter has worked solely as a wide receiver. He's going to now transition to corner in the next phase of their offseason program. I don't know how that's Phil. I mean, do you really think that's going to work? And how do you think that's going to play out with Travis Hunter?
Phil's on mute, and I don't think he has his earbuds on.
Yeah, Phil.
I'll say this much, Brian. I think Travis Hunter's going to play one way. If you play that man both ways, he's going to break down quick. I don't care what anybody says. If you're hitting guys and you're being hit, it ain't going to take long. He's not a big guy.
I got
either.
You, Bill T. I got you, brother. Bill T. Randy and whoever wants to answer. Brian, I want everyone's opinion on should we go get Jadeveon Clowney after being released from the Panthers. Your thoughts?
I'd try to go get a one tech from somebody.
No.
Yeah, if we're gonna make a trade, I'd like us to trade for an impactful one technique.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the one area, Bill T, and when you really look at it, I did forget Eagles got Azeez Ojulari. Maybe the Eagles, if they do move on from Bryce Huff, maybe they bring in a guy like Jadeveon Clowney. But Dallas, the one area of this football team where they are locked and loaded and stacked, and not everybody may make the team as it is defensive end. Who's the odd man out? I would like to see our team be more. I would like to see them be more like Howie before the season, and if we do have multiple guys that, maybe move on from a Sam Williams. I'm not saying definitely, or whoever, if Easy walks in and just we're hearing. Bill O'Brien. I don't know if you guys have heard the Bill O'Brien. The Bill O'Brien interview. He coached Booker. He recruited Booker at Alabama. Bill O'Brien also was the head coach of Boston College. And so he has an inside track on both of these players. He goes, Tyler Booker is a team leader and will hit the ground running and is going to be a huge success. He said Ezeraku, from the moment he walked into the room, was a leader. He was in the weight room. So if Ezeraku hits, and obviously we have Marshawn Nealand, maybe he's the guy that they move. I don't know. I'm just trying. I want them to be aggressive. I like Nealand, but I don't know where he fits now. I mean,
but,
go
ahead,
Ultra.
One thing that came out with about Eberflus loves Nealand, and I can see them adding one.
Good. I didn't hear that. Good.
Yeah, one player that I do think that they could add to the defensive end, and it's all going to depend how they view Sam Williams coming back from his knee surgery. But I can see them trying to I can see them going, because the White Cotton connection. I can see them bringing back Carl Lawson, and I also could see if the Eagles got rid of Bryce Huff, because he made him into a 10.5 sack guy on rotational basis, is Bryce Huff. So those are two names I'm watching.
I never thought of that. Huh. Bryce Huff to the Cowboys. Yeah.
White Cotton connection.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's actually pretty smart. That's why I brought up, I didn't know that they like Nealand. I like Nealand, but I think we both agree Nealand is not that dynamic edge rusher with all the moves that Easy comes in with. Easy can bend and get around. That's not really Nealand. He's just a great run guy. I think Nealand is about as steady as they come, but he may not be so flashy. But that was under the old system. We'll see. That's what's exciting, because we really don't know about what to expect. But Elam is a legacy Cowboy. He'll get Stephen White. I like Kyer Elam in the right system. Again, I don't know. He's big, he's fast, but he didn't live up to potential in Buffalo, and they played him as a zone guy, which I thought that's what Eberflus likes to run here. So stay tuned on Elam. Elam, could be busted out of here, because if they try and zone him and he picks up where he left off in Buffalo, or if they allow him to play some man stuff, get up in the face, that's his strength. Me and Phil talked about it. Then that could be a great pickup, so we'll see. We shall see. Rob Bay, what's going on, brother? Only way Huff leaves is via trade. Yeah, I figured, Rob. I don't think they're going to just release him. So I don't know. That would be an interesting trade, a player for player. But then again, who knows, man? Bryce Huff didn't do much last year. He wasn't even playing in the Super Bowl. So I don't know what his value could be. So maybe teams will play that out. I would have to look at the contract, Rob, and see where that lands, if they can actually move on from him via cut or June 1st. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think he's there for 1 one more year.
But one thing on Elam, if you notice the Eberflus cornerback system, Elam fits it to a T, just like Reval fits it to a T. They're both great tackling cornerbacks. So I would not be, if those guys play real well in camp, I would not be surprised if I see those two as the outside cornerbacks and moving Bland into the nickel.
Very, very interesting. Sam was the biggest loser.
I also don't see Huff playing. I don't see Huff playing over Jihad Campbell either.
Yeah, Jihad, assuming he's healthy, is going to get some work at edge rusher as well. He's going to be linebacker and on the edge. So he's a he's a stand-up guy. He's not going to put his hand in the dirt, but I think that's where he might be his best, in my opinion. Is actually being able to come off the edge in a 2-point stance. I like Jihad Campbell. I hope he can stay healthy. He has 2 knees and 2 shoulders that have been problems. Some teams took him off their draft board. So we'll see about that. He's a linebacker, D'Angelo, but they've already said they're going to rush him as well. He could do it all.
My question to y'all is, Brian, is the Commanders, they haven't replaced any of their defensive line. How are they going to stop anybody?
I think the Commanders are in for a rude awakening this year. I'm trying not to be too mean to everybody because they do have a young quarterback that I liked. But and I know they went and got Debo. I understand that. So it'll be interesting, but their schedule is ridiculous. Yeah, as is the Eagles, as is the Cowboys, as is the Giants. The Giants, I think, are a team that will be better, but I think their record will be better as well. I
agree.
But I don't think they're nearly going to touch 7 wins. There's no way, in my humble opinion. So I think the Giants probably still bring up the rear. I think if Giants catch anybody, it'll be Washington. I think Washington takes a severe step back this year.
I do too. I'm with you.
I'm sorry. I know they don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, Commando fans. It's just an opinion. I know Drew's high on Washington. Again, I don't see it. I just don't see it. But who knows?
I got one for the panel. Game time.
Go ahead.
What is their bold prediction this year? What is everybody's one bold prediction involving a player for the Cowboys?
Okay. Bold prediction. Go ahead, Randy. Think about it. Or you guys think about it. We got Loyal, Randy, Virus, Wade, and Ultra. I'll go last.
I think Pickens has 1,200 yards with about 7 touchdowns.
Okay.
Blue having more success with us building up the offensive line.
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay. Wait. He took yours?
Oh, you're good. No.
Anybody else before I go? I know Wade's
Dak
going to have
Prescott's last year as a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, well, I know Wade's going to have a heart attack when I say this. And Ultra too.
I got mine for you guys.
Oh, well, go ahead. I don't want to take it.
Elam and Reval are doing good on the outside corners, and at the trade deadline, Diggs gets traded.
Ooh, ouch. Diggs gets traded.
Bland will have 12 interceptions this year.
All right. Get ready. And if it doesn't happen, he's gone. He gone. I think, happy Mother's Day, Logan. The Moshers are in the house. I think Dak Prescott will be in the running for MVP. Deep into the season. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I think he is going, like he was a couple years ago. I think every other year he has an MVP runner-up, or he's in the top. He's in the mix. I think he's going to put up great stats this year. And I think everybody's going to fall in love with him again in these regular season stats. He's going to be in the mix 3/4 of the way through the season for the MVP. We'll see how it ends up. But I think Dak has a bounce back, which means nothing about the playoffs, which is what I'm more concerned about. And so people are going to get annoyed. The hype is going to go through the roof, and they're going to go, oh, Dak Prescott. And I'm not going to say negativity about the playoffs, but it's all about the playoffs to me, people. It's all about the playoffs and getting our young guys. But I want to just ask Ultra, is this I know you say Super Bowl, but in your mind, is this really a Super Bowl would be just a cherry on top, or is this really a build-up year for next year? You know what I mean?
I believe they have a contending roster. I really do. If you look at that, if you put them on paper and look at all their positions and stuff like that, I think they are a very talented team. They won 7 games with like all those all-pro players out. I think they upgraded. I think we've got 3 impactful players in this offseason, one being re-signing Osa, Dante Fowler, in the trade of Pickens. So I just don't understand why a lot of people are down on this team. This team is going to be very, very, very competitive. And I hope Logan keeps the receipt, because I'm saying baby. Super Bowl. And I think Super Bowl.
We got
just to shut up a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, that's it, everybody. I will try and do a live stream tonight. We'll do a channel member again. So please, guys, use the same link. I'm not going to repost the link. I could, I guess, because half the people won't see it. So, but I'm just going to, if I do it, just use the same link. I got the link good through tomorrow. So I'll just use the same link. I will try and do one tonight. This is just a wake up. I feel guilty. I didn't do nothing yesterday, so I wanted to do something. I know everybody loves live streams, and there's really not much I could do right now as far as recording, other than, we have enough YouTubers that are just making videos about Dak farting.
Pickens, and Pickens.
The Pickens dropping a deuce, again, and making up stuff. So I'm not going to do that. So I don't need YouTube like that. I want to have fun doing it. But all right, everybody, I will talk to everybody later. I promise I'll do something tonight, maybe 8:30.
Thank you guys. Happy Mother's Day to
Happy
everybody.
Mother's Day. Make sure you take care of your mothers. And Daz, happy Mother's Day, baby. Later. I'll talk to you. See ya.
That's it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!